Welcome to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park and Thursday night baseball between the Queen City Corndogs and your Pineville Porcupines. First up, we see number 15, Adam Quintero. As the first pitch hits Adam, we hope he's all right. So after the first pitch, Adam will take first base here. So now we see Dave Mossry, number 26, step up to the plate. As that one is high and inside for ball number 1. And Adams taking second, slides in, and he is safe. So after that stolen base by Adam, we see Dave step back up into the box with a 2-0 count. And that one's going to hit him. So first two batters hit by pitch here. So that'll load him up at first and second.
Now batting number 55, Will.
So no outs, runners on first and second. We see number 55, Will Butnick. As that one's a little high for ball 1. 1-0 count here to Will. As that one's a little low. 2-0 count. As that one is skied high into foul territory. So Will steps back up to the plate, looking at a 2-1 count. Runners on first and second for the Corndogs. As that one is outside. Now a 3-1 count. As that one is chopped to first. Thrown to second, but he's going to be in there safely. So that will load up the bases now for the Corndogs with no outs. And now we see number 42, Dylan Lewis, step up to the plate with the bases loaded for the Corndogs. As that's down for strike 1. And that's a ball to even up the count, 1-1. As that is fouled off behind us into the netting. Now we're looking at a 1-2 count. So Dylan looking at a 1-2 count with the bases loaded. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a little inside, even up the count 2-2. So the Corndogs load up the bases here early, as that one's going to be a swing and a miss to record out number 1 here. Porcupines hoping to get out of this jam here early. As now we see number 33, Peter Golo. So that one's down and into the dirt. So 1-0 count. So Peter steps back up to the plate here. Looking at a 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. And that is down into the dirt. Runner on third is going to slide in safely. So that is going to be a 1-0 lead for the Corndogs here, as runner advances. So now we have runners on second and third for the Corndogs, as Peter steps back up to the plate looking at a 2-0 count. As that one's going to be a little low. Now a 3-0 count. Third base coach gives Peter a signal, seeing if he gets a green light to swing here. And that is down low for ball number 4. So that will load up the bases again here for the Corndogs. As now we see number 25, Harrison Wilson, step up to the plate here. 1 out, bases loaded. As that is down and in for strike number 1. And that one's going to be chopped to third, but foul. So 0-2 count here. Harrison steps back up to the plate, looking at a 0-2 count. Bases loaded, 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that is down for strike number 3 to record out number 2 here.
Now batting number 37, Harrison Butheleti.
So now we look at 37, Harrison Butheleti. The lefty steps up to the plate for the first time with bases loaded and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. As that is hit hard, but fouled down the first base line. So 1 count. As Harrison stepping back up to the plate here. Porcupines hoping to get out of this with only a 1-0 lead for the Corndogs, as that one's outside. So 1-1 count. That one's going to be outside. 2-1 count now, here to Harrison. As Harrison calls time there. It's a swing and a miss. Now evens up the count here, 2-2. 2 outs, base is still loaded. As that's hit hard, and that's going to be a base hit to score in another run here for the Corndogs. So now that makes it 2-0 Corndogs.
Battery number 5, Nathan Sammy.
So now base is still loaded for the Corndogs, and now we see number 5, Nathan Sammy, step up to the plate. As that one's down for strike number 1. So late strike call there. So 0-2 count. As that is hit hard but fouled down the third base line. So Nathan steps back up to the plate looking at an 0-2 count. And that is down the middle for strike 3, out number 3. So Queen City Corndogs take an early 2-0 lead over the Pineville Porcupines. As we will see you at the bottom of the first when the Porcupines take the plate for the first time tonight. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park as we see the Pineville Porcupines take the plate for the first time here tonight. We want to give a special thanks to Hilton Garden Inn and Hampton Inn, the official hotel of the Pineville Porcupines. Pitcher tonight for the Queen City Corndogs on the mound here. We're seeing number 21, Sam Johnson. So if you're just joining in the broadcast, Queen City Corndogs take an early 2-0 lead over the Pineville Porcupines. So here, started off here for the Porcupines. We see number 8, Cameron Farrell, step up to the plate. As that's going to hit him. So that hits Cam. So we see the first 2 pitchers hit the first 2 batters to start off the game for both teams. So I'll load up Cameron Farrell on first. And now we see number 23, Nick Curtis, step up to the plate. As that's going to be outside. So 1-0 count. As Cameron on first, pretty good leadoff. And it is. It's going to be thrown back to first, but Cameron will get there safely. As that is popped up. As left fielder calls off the shortstop to make out number 1.
Number 34, Chris Manriquez.
So 1 out, runner on first. We now see number 34, Chris Manriquez, step up to the plate. That one's going to be high. So 1-0 count.
I would just, if you care about his music, I'd just give me 2 or 3 songs and I'll just play one of those, like each game, like I'll switch it up. I want you coming up every fucking game.
That one's going to be inside. So 2-0 count here to Chris. As Cameron takes off to second, slides in there safely. So stolen base there by Cameron Farrell. Now puts Porcupine in scoring position. As Chris steps back into the box, looking at a 3-0 count. Will he get the green light here to swing? As Cameron has pretty good lead off at second. And that's going to be down for strike number 1. So 3-1 count for Chris. So Cameron on second. Pretty good lead off. Looking like he might steal again. That's high and inside for ball number 4. So that'll be a walk. And now we see runners on first and second for the Porcupines. And number 31, Ethan McLean, stepping up to the plate. As Ethan calls time, the ump cleaning off home plate. As that one's a little low, so 1-0 count to Ethan.
That's why I got like 3 hits on 2. I was out 3 guys, so even now.
As Cameron goes for third, and he's called out. Third base coach not happy about that call. So Cameron stole second earlier. Got that. Tries to steal third. And was called out. And now the umps talking things through, having a little meeting here. As the initial call was out at third. But after they talk it through, they still call Cameron out at third. Third base coach not happy about that. But Chris Manriquez on second, still Porcupine in scoring position. As Ethan's looking at a 2-0 count. And that is hit hard. Deep right. But caught at the warning track for out number 3. So Queen City Corndogs still have a 2-0 lead over the Pineville Porcupines. And we will see you at the top of the second. See you then. Welcome back to the broadcast as we see Queen City Corndogs take the plate here for the second time tonight. First up, we see number 2, Garrett Sanner. As that's going to be high for ball 1, 1-0 count. Special thanks to Carolina Scoops, the official ice cream of your Pineville Porcupines. As that is down and low, gets away from him. So 2-0 count. And that's going to be hit back up to the pitcher and tossed to first for the first out. So with one out, no one on. Now we see number 23, Miller St. John for the Corndogs. As that is down and in for strike number one.
Makes me think of that movie, Charlie St. Cloud. Zac Efron. Sad, but it's good.
And check swing called strike. So 0-2 count. As that's down and in for strike number three. So that's going to be out number two.
Now adding number 15, Adam Quintero.
So now we see number 15, Adam Quintero, step up to the plate with 2 outs, no one on. As that's swing and a miss for strike number one. As that's going to be hit to second and thrown to first for out number three here. Corndogs do no damage here. Keep it a 2-0 lead over the Porcupines. So next we will see the Porcupines take the plate for the second time here tonight. We'll see you then. So welcome back to the broadcast as the Queen City Corndogs have a 2-0 lead over the Pineville Porcupines. Here in the bottom of the second. First up, we see number 27, Lucas Martino. As that one's outside. So 1-0 count to Lucas. That one's also outside. So early 2-0 count to Lucas. Join us tomorrow, Friday, July 7th, for Bark in the Ballpark here at Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park. Pups in the park. Bring your furry friends. They are free. So Lucas here, now looking at a 3-0 count. Will he get the green light to swing here? And that one's outside. So that'll be a walk to load Lucas up at first. So now we see number 35, Calder Garris.
Yeah, you see he dropped like the bonus tracks for all these. I remember, of course, that's so low. He changes every walk-up song to girl. I remember you played that at a concert.
So runner on first, no outs. Here's the first pitch to Calder Garris.
That's a great start.
As that one's going to be a little low. So 1-0 count.
I was thinking that. I like one where it's like a Corey Lanes.
And that's a swing and a miss to even up the count 1-1.
Yeah, he told me to switch it. He's got walk. D-backs. He's a D-backs. Signs like that.
As that's down for strike number 2. So 1-2 count to Calder. As that one's tied, even up the count 2-2. Special thanks to Dave and Buster's. Eat, drink, play, watch. Dave and Buster's.
Oh my god.
As that's going to be out 1 for the Porcupines.
Now batting number 11, Emerson Monberry.
So now we see number 11, Emerson Munbaron, step up to the plate with 1 out. Runner on first.
Not the scoreboard. No, yeah, the scoreboard with the
So 1-0 count to Emerson.
They passed it in, they started the clock, or like I was supposed to start the clock, and I waited, and they had like 5 seconds to go full court.
As that's going to be chopped to second.
No, I mean, I should've-
Thrown to first for out number 2.
So after we took like 2 dribbles, they just threw it out.
But runner will advance.
Oh, you got so many guys in that.
Now batting number 17, Tyler Rhodes.
So 2 outs, runner on second for the Porcupines. We now see number 17, Tyler Rokes.
Which our basketball team, he's been there. It's like Cooper Flag, it's like all these nasty dudes. He said that kid was really good. He played like the Bleacher Plans. Bryce Hughes is there too. Yeah, he said he watched Bryce. He said his team is the best.
That's all he's coaching.
He said his team just doesn't pass no ball.
That's literally like all. Wait, you talking about Starker Days?
Huh? They're here.
As that is down and in for strike number 1.
I saw, I don't know if y'all knew Rob Dillian is. I don't know when he was Husky. I saw him at the AU tournament in Concord, like literally just little Carolina courts. He was in 6th grade. I remember looking up this
A 1-1 count to Tyler here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. As that is fouled off into the Corndogs dugout. So now Tyler's looking at a 1-2 count here. So Lucas taken off to third, and he will be there safely standing up. So a little misconfusion between the coach of the Corndogs and the umpire. And that will even up the count 2-2 as Tyler steps back up to the plate. I'll be a little outside to make it a full count now. As that is popped up in foul territory. And the out will not be made. As that one goes past the fence. So as Tyler steps back up to the plate looking at A full count still.
Just only takes out only use like one or two in the first like two games you see go out like China at least.
As that one's called strike 3 and out number 3. So after the bottom of the second inning, Queen City Corndogs still have a 2-0 lead over the Pineville Porcupines. As we will see the Corndogs up to bat here in the top of the third. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park. If you're just joining in the broadcast, the Corndogs have an early 2-0 lead over the Porcupines. As we see number 26, Dave Masri. As that one's a swing and a miss. Record strike number 1. As that one's a little low to even up the count 1-1. As that's hit to right, and it will drop. As Dave thought about going for 2 there, but he will stay at first. So now we see number 55, Will Budnick. Step up to the plate here for the Porcupines. So he steps up to the plate for the Corndogs. Runner on first, no outs. As that is down and into the dirt. Dave will stay at first for the Corndogs.
Oh, they just got up.
So 1-0 count. As that one's outside to make it a 2-0 count now. Here to Will. As that one's high. So now Will's looking at a 3-0 count. Will he get the green light to swing? He will not, as that's down for strike one. So now Will's looking at a 3-1 count. So runner on first, and he throws it back to first, but he will get back there safely. As that's going to be chopped to third. Thrown to first. And he gets him to record out number one. The runner does advance there. So Corndogs have runner on second now. And now we see number 42, Dylan Lewis, step up to the plate. As that one's fouled off into the netting. So 1 count. As that one's down into the dirt to even up the count 1-1. As that one's hit hard to third and thrown to first to record out number 2 here. So runner still on second. Now we see number 33, Peter Golo, step up to the plate. So that one's going to be outside, so 1-0 count here to Peter. Runner on second, 2 outs.
I usually just go, last time I had to go all the way back.
As that one's a little low, so 2-0 count to Peter. That one's going to be outside, so 3-0 count. Peter get the green light here to swing or take first base. And that one's inside, so runners on first and second now for the Corndogs. With 2 outs. 2-0 lead. And the Porcupines hoping to keep it that way. As now number 25, Harrison Wilson, steps up to the plate. As Harrison calls time, steps back up to the plate here. As that one's down for strike number 1. As that one's outside to even up the count 1-1. And that one's hit to third. And a throw to the first, out of control and goes into the fencing. So that will score in another for the Corndogs. So that's a 3-0 lead for the Corndogs. As runners are now on the corners, first and third.
Now batting number 37, Harrison.
So now we see number 37, Harrison Butholetti, with runners on the corners.
Did you ever go to Eli? Did you ever go to that Jake Oven thing? They had that free. You could just claim a little student ticket to it.
Special thanks to Margot's Wine, Pizza, and Market.
I was sick of the dog though for it. No, it wasn't anywhere close to campus. I would say it's like 15-minute away. It was free ticket. Every student got free ticket. I wonder who's gonna.
So now we resume play here. As that one is outside and into the dirt to Harrison. So 1-0 count to him.
I just want somebody like pretty like decent. Oh, but that like super viral Noah Farcan. It was a gross. No fair. Yeah.
As that one's called strike to even up the count 1-1.
No way.
And that's going to be outside. 2-1 count now to Harrison. As that one's high. So now a 3-1 count to Harrison. 2 outs, runners still on the corners for the Corndogs.
That's so sick, he's just so happy.
As that one's called strike to make it a full count. Porcupines hoping to get out of this one here with a full count and 2 outs. As runner on first goes. And that'll be over the head of Ethan McLean at first. So that will score in another run for the Corndogs. Now making it a 4-0 lead. And runners still on the corners. So now we're seeing a meeting at the mound for the Porcupines.
I guess he'll start with. Yeah, I don't think it was gonna be close. I think he did that.
So now we want to give a special thanks to Hilton Garden Inn and Hampton Inn, the official hotel of your Pineville Porcupines. So after that meeting on the mounds, shall resume play here shortly. And runners on the corners for the Corndogs. Now we see number 5, Nathan Sammy, step up to the plate here. As that one is inside, 1-0 count.
That'll be something like I really would consider. 300? That's a lot of shit, dude.
That's also inside, so Nathan looking at a 2-0 count.
Oh, dude, I was sleeping in the prices too. I got a little lock on.
As that one's inside and almost hits Nathan. Now making it a 3-0 count.
You know, the year before I we were senior in high school, fucking Rich the Kid came, he performed for like 5 minutes because people were throwing balls and shit.
As that one hits the corner, called strike. Now we're seeing a 3-1 count.
Steelers goes 5. Yeah, dude. I went the first time. I think the second time.
And that's inside in ball number 4. So now we're seeing bases loaded again for the Corndogs.
Steelers fire. This is a DJ. He's playing everything.
As now we're seeing a call to the bullpen for the Porcupines.
That's like, even if he had something like that, that would be sick. He looked before, he loved him and shit like that.
When my brother went to W way back in 2013, right before Drake blew up, he came to W to college.
So there will be a pitcher change here for the Porcupines. Don't forget, tomorrow, July 7th, bark in the ballpark here at Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park. 7 o'clock game. Bring your pups to the park. Bring your furry friends. They are free. So new pitcher for the Porcupines. We're seeing number 30, Trent Boone. The new guy to the roster. As he comes in here, top of the 3rd inning with 2 outs.
Number 30, Trent Boone.
So as Trent takes a couple warm-up pitches here, play shall resume here shortly as the Porcupines hoping to not extend the lead anymore for the Corndogs, as if you're just joining into the broadcast, they have a 4-0 lead over the Porcupines here in the top of the 3rd inning.
My freshman year, we had every fraternity had a bartender, so it was just free beer and no ID checks and nothing. And then after COVID, the lots started having their own bar, bartenders. So you had to try to get a drink ticket, your ID check.
So beautiful night here for baseball in Pineville, North Carolina. As we resume play here, we're going to see number 2, Garrett Sanner.
But hey, some of those big ones, they got to pay too. The big ones, they did.
As the umpire is going to call time here.
I should expect to get shit free like that.
As there was a baseball behind home plate. And we resume play here with bases loaded and 2 outs. So first pitch here to Garrett, as that is fouled off behind us. So 0-1 count to Garrett. As that is high and inside. So that evens up the count now, 1-1. That one's also high. 2-1 count here to Garrett. As Garrett calls time. And he steps back into the box. Looking at a 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. And that is hits him on the elbow.
He asked for help for it. Was that what? What just happened? The umpire just was it a foul ball? Or was it a
I just want to kick back.
So that will walk in a run as that hits the elbow of Garrett Sanner.
why don't you check him? They'll just keep ball freeze. So it's tough around.
So now the umpires having a little discussion whether it hit Garrett or not.
Honestly, just keep Gibbs on.
So a little miscommunication between the umps.
I might give a little boy one. Yeah. Scoop. Yeah, just whooping our ass and give a scoop. What is there, scoop?
So now the manager for the Porcupines comes out. He wants a little help understanding what the call was. So now the Corndogs have a 5-0 lead over the Porcupines. As we see Miller St. John, number 23, step up to the plate. Bases still loaded and 2 outs. As that one's high. So 1-0 count. As that is skied high. And that's going to be caught for the 3rd out. Queen City Corndogs 5, Pineville Porcupines nothing, as we will see you in the bottom of the 3rd inning as the Porcupines take the plate again. We'll see you then.
Number 25.
Welcome back to the booth. And now we see number 25, Nate Firstman, step up to the plate for the Porcupines. And if you're just joining in, the Corndogs have a 5-0 lead over the Porcupines. As that one's fouled off. So 0-1 count to Nate. As that one's low to even up the count 1-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. As that one's a swing and a miss to make it a 1-2 count. As that is down for strike number 3, out number 1.
Now batting number 13, Cam Murray.
So now we see Cam Murray, number 13. As that one's down for strike number 1.
How's it going? Man? Feel for you out there, dude. I feel for you out there.
As that one's outside to even up the count 1-1 to Cam. And that one's in for strike number 2. So 1-2 count to Cam. As that one evens up the count 2-2. That one's down and into the dirt. Now making it a full count here. As we see the Corndogs still have number 21, Sam Johnson, on the mound still. So Cam looking at a full count. Here's the pitch. That one's hit hard to first. Takes a crazy bounce. So that one took a crazy bounce. So Cam gets to first safely. So now we see number 8, Cameron Farrell, step up to the plate here for the Porcupines with 1 out, 1 on. As that one's high and inside, 1-0 count. As that one is chopped, gets past the second baseman, so that's another hit. So the Porcupines have runners on the corners now with 1 out.
Now batting number 23, Nick Curtis.
So runners on the corners for the Porcupines. Now we see number 23, Nick Curtis, step up to the plate. as that one's going to be a little low, making it a 1-0 count. As that one's going to be outside to make it a 2-0 count to Nick.
This is fucking heavy.
As that one's thrown to third, but Cam will get there safely. And Cameron Farrell will take second. So now Porcupines here with 1 out, have runners on second and third now. So now Nick steps back up to the plate. As that one's inside. So 3-1 count now. As that one's outside for ball number 4. And that will load up the bases here for the Porcupines. So 1 out, bases loaded now for the Porcupines. And now we see number 34, Chris Manriquez, step up to the plate. So can the Porcupines get something going here to get on the board here in the bottom of the 3rd inning? As we see a meeting on the mound here for the Corndogs.
Bro, all I did was one thing. I'm dripping in sweat.
I'm tired.
Special thanks to Tailored Hair Salon, the official hair salon of your Pineville Porcupines.
Max Reed started to be at the sun.
Nice. Sunday.
So after that meeting on the mound, Chris Manriquez steps up to the plate.
Bro, you didn't even charge the tablet. 35%.
As that's going to be chopped up the middle, thrown to second, thrown to first. As the Corndogs get the double play there. So after that, Queen City Corndogs have a 5-0 lead over the Porcupines. As we will see the Corndogs take the plate in the top of the 4th. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park as the Queen City Corndogs have a 5-0 lead over the Pineville Porcupines. We now see number 15, Adam Quintero, step up to the plate for the Corndogs. Here in the top of the 4th inning. As that one's going to be hit, but fouled down the third base line. So 0-1 count here to Adam. As that one's hit hard to center, but will be caught for out number 1.
Now batting number 26, Dave Morrissey.
So now we see number 26, Dave Mossery. As that's going to be down for strike number 1. That's going to be hit hard, and that will be a base hit for Dave. So runner on first for the Corndogs. So now we see number 55, Will Budnick. Runner on first and 1 out.
Yeah, very good detail. They always finish like top 5 in their conference.
So if you're just joining the broadcast, the Corndogs have a 5-0 lead over the Porcupines. As here's the first pitch to Will, and that will be a ball. 1-0 count. As that's down and thrown to second. And he will get him at second. This runner tried to steal there with a pitch in the dirt. So that'll be out number 2.
Oh, them over there. I'm about to sit down.
So Will steps back up to the plate with 2 outs and looking at a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch by Trent. That one's outside. 2-1 count now. As that one's called strike to even up the count, 2-2. As that one is outside to make it a full count here to Will. As that is fouled.
Guess I'm about to use mine.
So Will's still looking at a full count here. As that is popped up behind us. So Will staying alive here with a full count. As that one is down for ball number 4. So will take first base. So now we will see number 42, Dylan Lewis.
Now batting number 42, Dylan Lewis. How many people watching Cubs or Asian gamers? Almost 7 people watching. What? Really? Yeah. That's because it's on college. Well, because they're in Charlotte, so they're here.
As that one is down for ball number 1. So 1-0 count here to Dylan. As that one is popped up to Ethan, and that will be the 3rd out. So the Queen City Corndogs still have a 5-0 lead over the Pineville Porcupines, as we will see the Porcupines take the plate again in the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll see you then. Welcome back to the Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park. If you're just joining into the broadcast, Queen City Corndogs have a 5-0 lead over the Pineville Porcupines, as now we see number 31, Ethan McLean, step up to the plate here for the Porcupines. Here's the first pitch to him, and that will be a ball. So Ethan now looking at a 1-0 count. As that one's also going to be outside for a 2-0 count. So 3-0 count. As that one's outside for ball number 4. So that will put a runner on here early for the Porcupines.
27, Lucas Martino.
So no outs, runner on first. Now see number 27, Lucas Martino. That one's a swing and a miss for an 0-1 count. As that one's going to be high. Teeing up the count 1-1. That one is outside to make it a 2-1 count. Lucas looking at a 3-1 count here. As that is hit hard, but caught by the shortstop. So that is now 2 outs.
Now batting number 35, Color Garris.
So with 2 outs, no one on. Now we see number 35, Calder Garris. As there's going to be another meeting on the mound here for the Corndogs.
There's really not enough kids here to do that shoe race, and I'm not doing it.
Special thanks to Physical, the official physical therapy of your Pineville Porcupines. So as we watch this meeting on the mound by the Corndogs, if you're just joining into the broadcast, Queen City Corndogs have a 5-0 lead over the Pineville Porcupines here in the bottom of the 4th inning. As we are looking at a new pitcher for the Corndogs. Looking at number 14, Will Hansen. And join us tomorrow at Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park at 7 o'clock as we have Bark in the Ballpark. So bring your pups to the park. Furry friends are free. So after that meeting on the mound for the Corndogs and new pitcher change, now see Calder Garris step back up to the plate. As that's a swing and a miss, so 0-1 count to Calder. And that one's going to be high to even up the count 1-1.
6 innings. I can give you a good hour and a half board.
One's down and into the dirt. 2-1 count.
There's only been more balls thrown than strikes.
Yeah, just doing this, I could never I don't think I
And that one's going to be a swing and a miss. To even up the count, 2-2 to Calder.
I like don't want to work all the time. You have to work all the time in sports.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. So I don't work for an agency.
So I switched it up. I used to want to work for sports.
And that will be strike number 3, out number 3.
Yeah,
it's not working.
So after the bottom of the 4th inning, Queen City Corndogs still have a 5-0 lead over the Pineville Porcupines. As we will see the Corndogs step up to the plate in the bottom of the 5th. We'll see you then. Welcome back to the broadcast. We have a new pitcher on the mound for the Porcupines. We see number 19, Garrett Dunn.
Number 33, Peter. You catcher.
So now we see number 33, Peter Golo, step up to the plate for the Corndogs. Here in the top of the 5th inning.
Alright, let's switch it now for Darius. We probably just wanted them to fuck them. But he's probably still good.
As that one's low for a 1-0 count.
Never say he's got anger issues.
I'm surprised one of us in the Pineville died eyes.
That one's down for strike number 1 to even up the count, 1-1. As that one's hit to short and thrown to first for out number 1.
Now batting number 25, Harrison Wilson.
So now we see number 25, Harrison Wilson, step up to the plate for the Corndogs with 1 out, no one on. As that one's a little high for ball number 1, 1-0 count. That one's going to be called strike to even up the count, 1-1. That one's hit hard but fouled. So if you're just joining in the broadcast, Queen City Corndogs have a 5-0 lead over the Pineville Porcupines here in the top of the 5th inning. As beautiful night here in baseball here in Pineville, North Carolina. As the sun just set. And that one's popped up in foul territory but caught by Ethan McLean. So that's out number 2. And now we see number 37, Harrison Buthaletti. Two outs, no one on. As that pitch is down the middle for strike number 1. As that one is hitting to left, so base hit for the Corndogs. So with 2 outs, runner on first. Now see number 5, Nathan Sammy. As that's down the middle for strike number 1. As that one's fouled off into the netting. So 0-2 count to Nathan. As Harrison Buthaletti is on first. As that one's chopped to short. Thrown first for out number 3. So the Corndogs still have a 5-0 lead as we see them come up to bat in the bottom of the 5th. See you then.
Number 11.
Welcome back to the broadcast as the Porcupines take the plate again. See number 11, Emerson Monbaron. As that one is popped up, caught by the right fielder. That records out number 1. Just joining in the broadcast, the Corndogs have a 5-0 lead over the Porcupines. As now we see number 17, Tyler Rokes. As that one gets away from him into the netting. So 1-0 count. As that one's fouled off into the netting. So evens up the count 1-1.
Because that was a problem.
2-1 count. As that one's fouled off. Special thanks to Carolina's Chiropractic, the official chiropractic of the Pineville Porcupines. So as Tyler steps back up to the plate here, looking at a 2-2 count. That's hit hard to center, and that will drop in for a base hit for Tyler Rokes.
Number 25, Nate Firstman.
So with 1 out now, 1 on, see number 25, Nate Firstman.
So we go today, tomorrow, Sunday.
As that's down for strike number 1.
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
And that's down into the dirt. Tyler Rokes will take second base. Tyler Rokes has a pretty good leadoff at second, too, as Nate steps back up to the plate here. And that will be hit to right. But will be caught. Will be caught for the second out.
Now batting number 13, Cam Murray.
So 2 outs, runners on second. Now see number 13, Cam Murray.
Oh, baby. What this gummy pill is doing. It's only 1, 2. Fuck. Thanks, Byron.
As that is down in for strike 1.
And after this, I left after 9 sports. That was gonna be cool. But playing, yes, it's different, but working it, it work.
So Cam looking at a 0-1 count. As Tyler has a good lead off at second. That one's going to be inside to get up the count 1-1. That one's going to be a little low 2-1 count now.
Marathon Bears on the weekend, boy. What you guys drink in high school? That was a seltzer you did in high school. Then when I was still here, got way away. That was a ball.
And that is going to be a ball. So now we're seeing a 3-1 count to Cam. 2 outs, runner on second in scoring position. Porcupines hoping to get on the board here in the bottom of the 5th inning. As that is hit to right, and that will drop. So Tyler Rokes will come in from second, and the Porcupines will get on the board there. So now the Corndogs have a 5-1 lead over the Porcupines. So now we see number 8, Cameron Farrell.
Freshman year college, anytime I was vodka sour.
So Porcupines get on the board here in the bottom of the 5th. And 2 outs here. Runner on third. Hoping to add to that. As that's down in for strike number 1. As that one's hit to left, and that'll be caught for out number 3. So the Porcupines get on the board in the bottom of the 5th, but the Corndogs still have a 5-1 lead over them. As Corndogs will take the plate in the top of the 6th inning. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park. New pitcher on the mound for the Porcupines, the sidearm slinger, number 37, Noah Emig.
I think bush lights after you drink a couple of these is exactly why. They just goes down like one.
Just joining into the broadcast, the Queen City Corndogs have a 5-1 lead over the Pineville Porcupines. Here as we start the top of the 6th inning. First batter for the Corndogs, we'll see number 2, Garrett Sanner.
Came back from downtown. Got a couple of vodkas. Then later that night, had another beer. That thing just flowed like water.
As he shows bunt, but that would be foul.
Classic or I would just do a board and just obliterate it.
So as Garrett steps back up to the plate here with an 0-1 count, here's the pitch. And that will be called a ball to even up the count 1-1. As that will be chopped foul on the third baseline. So 1-2 count now to Garrett Sanner. As that is popped up to left. And that will be caught to record out number 1.
Number 37, Harrison, St. John.
So now we see number 23, Miller St. John. As that will be down for strike number 1. That is chopped to second, thrown to first. But Miller will be called safe as he beat out the throw there.
Now batting number 15, Adam
So now we see number 15, Adam Quintero. As he steps up to the plate with a runner on first and 1 out here in the top of the 6th. As that's thrown back to first. But Miller is back there safely. There's a pretty good leadoff at first. As that one tied, even up the count 1-1 to Adam Quintero. As that's thrown back to first again. St. John will get back there safely. As he takes off to second. St. John will still second, as that was a wild pitch. So as Adam steps back into the box, he's looking at a 2-1 count. as that one's high to make it a 3-1 count. That's ball number 4. Now runners on first and second for the Corndogs. And now we see number 26, Dave Morsi.
It just doesn't sound like something I would sit on. I like sours. And you go crazy. I don't like sours.
As that ball is hit to short and thrown to first, high throw. So runner is safe to make it bases loaded for the Corndogs. And now we see number 55, Will Budnick, step up to the plate with bases loaded and 1 out.
Did y'all try those Bud Light drinks, but smell like sodas?
Dude, I had those. It's overrated, bro. I like the Coke one, but I can't sit there and drink those in the sun. That's another thing.
As that one is fouled off behind us.
And that is so tough to drink in the sun. Like, I don't know how you drink one like that. Orange one, just so much sugar, so much.
So 1 count to Will.
There was one hat that came out like a Christmas hat. That was a Christmas one.
I think I had that Christmas one, bro. Christmas one was pretty fun.
They had like apple pie.
As that one is popped up, shallow left. And it will be caught for the second out. So 2 outs, bases loaded. We will see number 42, Dylan Lewis.
No, dude, it's like a White Claw can.
Oh, really?
It's $250 for one little can.
The ones we got the test. We got the test that are salty on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the 12 bags. They were gross.
Yeah, I heard they're terrible.
As that is chopped down the third baseline, but foul.
Salty got good food. Dude, your club, every time I go, like, I get so hungry. I get that club. What club? What other clubs you got?
Just club.
Yeah, that, I think it's just that club.
Like turkey ham and
No, go eat the wrap. Chicken bacon ranch wrap or something. Oh, dude, so good.
So that one evens up the count, 1-1 now.
Yeah, alright, I'll try next time. I just don't like getting like my hands dirty, especially on cooking. I just like wraps, like this dip shit.
That one is fouled off behind us. 1-2 count now to Dylan. That one is hit to short, takes a bad hop. So that will score in 2 for the Corndogs to now make it 7-1. So now we see number 33, Peter Golo, step up to the plate with runners on first and second and 2 outs. As the Corndogs now have a 7-1 lead here. So that one is chopped back up to the pitcher and thrown to first for out number 3. So in the top of the 6th inning, Corndogs have a 7-1 lead over the Porcupines. As we see the Porcupines take the plate here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. See number 23, Nick Curtis, step up to the plate. New pitcher for the Corndogs. We now see number 27, Mason Price.
To a certain length, it gets like really like floaty. Just can't let it get too long.
As that ball is high for a 1-0 count. If you're just joining into the broadcast, the Corndogs have a 7-1 lead over the Porcupines. As that's now a 2-0 count. And that's strike number 1. So now Nick's looking at a 2-1 count. That's in for strike number 2 to even up the count, 2-2.
Took me by surprise. I've never seen that before.
As that hits Nick. Puts Porcupine on first now.
Yeah. Now batting number 34, Chris Enriquez.
So no outs, runner on first. We see number 34, Chris Manriquez, step up to the plate.
Oh my god. Dude, we're gonna have to find some ways to entertain ourselves for next week. Yeah, I don't know.
As that one's fouled off. So 0-1 count to Chris. As that one's inside, even up the count 1-1.
We have to do something though. Just 4 or 5 games in a row. We got something going on. Yeah. Yeah, I need double letters.
Both those games have had Street Boys. It's up to the All-Star break.
Oh, yeah. When is that coming? Next week?
That'll be like,
So now Chris is looking at a 1-2 count now.
Who's in it? Do we know the people in it this year? Is Matt in it? Better be. No one bad.
As that one's high to even up the count 2-2. And Nick takes off to second as that takes a bad bounce. Nick heading to third as it's a stand-up. He will get in there safely at third. So that hit by Chris puts runners on the corners, first and third now for the Porcupines. As we now see number 31, Ethan McLean. So Porcupines looking to add some more runs to the board here. Runners on the corners and no outs. As that's a swing and a miss for strike number 1. Special thanks to Spare Time. As that one is going to be down for strike number 2. So 1-2 count now to Ethan. That one's outside. Evens up the count 2-2. So Ethan calls time there. As that is high and inside. Tell him make it a full count now with runners on the corners. As that ball is down and into the netting, that will score in a run for the Porcupines. So now the Corndogs 7, Porcupines 2.
Lucas Martino.
So runners on first and second now for the Porcupines. Still no outs. We see number 27, Lucas Martino. As that hits Lucas on the shoulder. So now with no outs, bases are loaded here for the Porcupines. And now we see number 21, Jackson Hugas, step up to the plate as a substitution with no outs and bases loaded. Porcupines hoping to score some more runs. As that is hit hard. Hit hard to short. Almost caught, but went on the ground. Throw it to second to get one out. So now runners are on the corners for the Porcupines. As that does score in a run. So now Corndogs 7, Porcupines 3.
Batting number 11, Emerson Monberry.
So with one out, runners on the corners, we now see number 11, Emerson Munbaran, step up to the plate.
These dudes broke into this golf shop, stole around 300 bucks worth $100,000. It's like, dudes, put that shit in a bag.
1-0 count to Emerson. That one's inside, but called a strike. So evens up the count 1-1 to Emerson. As that one's high. So 2-1 count. As that one's called strike 2 to even up the count 2-2.
Dude, he broke the fucking glass and got all of the fucking Scotty Cameron putter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
These motherfuckers are wild. He probably sold all that shit. These are hard hits.
So Emerson now looking at a full count. Runners on the corner still. That's ball 4. So bases loaded for the Porcupines. And we see number 17, Tyler Roke, step up to the plate. With only one out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Number 17, Tyler Rooks.
I make sure to close out to your fucking. Man, fuck these. It's not really. It's all the garage.
as that ball is hit to left and will be caught for out number 2.
Now batting number 25, Nate.
So with 2 outs, bases loaded. You'll see number 25, Nate Firstman. As that one's going to be popped up into foul territory.
Oh, that one was hot. That went straight back. Damn. That would have been horrible. Damn.
Fouled off into the crowd. 0-1 count to Nate. As that is down for strike number 2. So 2 count.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they knew what they were grabbing, dude. Hybrids, drivers, and brothers, man.
I just can't believe bro the fucking guy all this guy.
As that will score in another run after the wild pitch.
That's one of the most popular balls.
So now, Corndogs 7, Porcupines 4.
There's so many people who don't want
As runners advance, so second and third now. And Nate will step back up to the plate with a 1-2 count.
He's smart. He's very yeah, it looks like it. It's like
As that is strike number 3, out number 3. But the Porcupines score some runs there. So as we go into the top of the 7th inning, Queen City Corndogs 7, Pineville Porcupines 4. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park. New pitcher on the mound for the Pineville Porcupines. We see number 4, Colby Helms. And number 25, Harrison Wilson, steps up to the plate for the Corndogs. Here in the top of the 7th inning. As that one's inside. So 1-0 count. If you're just joining in the broadcast, the Corndogs have a 7-4 lead over the Pineville Porcupines. As here's pitch number 2. That is hit hard to left and will drop. So base hit for the Corndogs. So runner on first now. So now we see number 37, Harrison Buffaletti, step up the plate with runner on first, no outs. As that one is hit to left and will be caught for out number 1. So now we see number 5, Nathan Sammy. As that one will be called for strike 1.
I told him it's like late months basketball, man. Like, you don't have to hit 30 balls. Like, I just get a small book, hit you 2 already good. I go, I like one that 102. Like, if I'm trying to play good, that's what I'm doing.
And that one's down for strike 2. So 0-2 count.
You make a difference. Then you're fresh. You're not going in there in the first lane, positive, having to figure it out. Yeah. I'm going to hit bad shots, but like, at least you'll know, like, yeah.
So 1-2 count now. Runner on first, 1 out.
Yeah.
As that is down in the dirt. And Harrison will take second off that wild pitch. So now the Corndogs have runner in scoring position on second. As Nathan steps back into the box here with a 2-2 count. As that one is skied high and popped up. And will be caught for out number 2. So now we see number 2, Garrett Sander. As that one's called strike 1. So 1-1 count now. As that one's fouled off into the netting. So 1-2 count now. As that one is hitting the foul territory.
I can just play it if you want me to.
So 1-2 count. Here to Garrett. Runner on second. So that one evens up the count, 2-2. As that one's in for strike 3, out 3. So after that, the Corndogs 7, Pineville Porcupines 4. We will see you in the bottom of the 7th. Welcome back to the broadcast here in the bottom of the 7th inning. See number 13, Cam Murray, step up to the plate here for the Porcupines.
We got one. I count on my one time thing. The only time we got one out.
As that one's a little low for ball one, 1-0 count. Just joining the broadcast, the Corndogs have a 7-4 lead over the Porcupines, as that one's hit hard to short by Cam. Thrown to first, it gets away. So Cam goes to second, as he will be there safely as a stand-up double.
Now batting number 8, Cam Farrell.
If you go back and look at Jamar Chase, every touchdown is all
So now we see number 8, Cameron Farrell, step up to the plate here.
Football players.
We got Kuda.
Yeah, and then he signed the 8 for the city.
Yeah, that was a fat contract, but hopefully we can let Grant. I like Richie Grant from UCF.
So a little meeting on the mound there for the Corndogs. Special thanks to Hilton Garden Inn and Hampton Inn, the official hotel of the Pineville Porcupines. So Cameron stepping back up to the plate here.
Oh, we signed that Saints guy. But he like barely played last year. We gave him a nice contract too.
As that one's inside, so 1-0 count.
he was gone. He had like 2 years, man. Then he got destroyed. He pissed me off for that. It was too soft on him. It was fast. I love Foye, who got a fat contract from the Jags. Olukon, that kid's killing it right now. You just let him go. Let the league tackles and he got a fat.
That one's low to make it a 2-0 count. As Cam was showing a pretty good lead off at second.
Grady under there. Hopefully he line gets some pressure, dude. I feel bad. It's always only Grady. We always
That ball is in for strike number 1.
That's why Grady and Drew Brees just thrive against us.
So Cameron Farrell now looking at a 2-1 count.
I don't like we're playing for a lot this year. Yeah, I moved him to end. He's an end. I mean, you did that like early for the 38.
That ball is hit to short, takes a bad bounce. And runners are safe on the corners, first and third. So with no outs, runners on the corners. Now we see number 23, Nick Curtis, step up to the plate.
Number 23, Nick Curtis. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if there's so many crazy offs. Part of the city is well, we're still very much a pebbles and shit like that. Yeah. I'm gonna try and bust out here. Me and my buddy play games on that.
So 1-0 count to Nick. So beautiful night here in Pineville, North Carolina for some baseball. Around 82 degrees right now. Still a little warm, but couldn't ask for better weather for a baseball game here.
Monthly games. You guys do that? Yeah.
So that evens up the count, 1-1.
I think I've broken 3 controllers in this show. I see like somehow I stop myself in the face.
I'm a big controller, Greg. Like, I hate to say it, but I just get stuff.
As that ball is low to make it a 2-1 count now.
FIFA was my shit. I play FIFA and just get fucking pissed. Just toss the controller. I'll just throw it out and just figure it out. So many controllers. It's not realistic, bro.
Thrown to first. So Nick's looking at a 2-1 count.
Yeah, I might be going back and forth with my shit.
As that one's outside. So now we're looking at a 3-1 count.
And I might come back and play golf. Let me know where you play Saturday. I'm only an hour and a half away from school, so.
I'm like same distance, but I'm just
An hour and 40, I keep it on. 4 hours. Oh my god. The way I drive though,
That one is called strike to make it a full count now.
dude, my dad gets so mad moving me in and out. And I had to help my brother for whenever he's in college.
So that one gets in the dirt, and that will score in another runner.
But through the ringer.
oh, I'm bad. Me too. I just don't know my brother over here.
So now with runners on first and second for the Porcupines, we now see number 34, Chris Manriquez.
Now batting number 34, Chris Manriquez. Oh, he's got fun. So disgusting.
So now the Corndogs 7, Porcupines 5. Porcupines creeping their way back into this one.
school would give our top 5 hitters one chance and then be done.
As Chris shows bunt.
So predictable, dude.
That ball was high, so Chris now looking at a 1-0 count.
We won half our games with that shit. Just gross. Just hit the ball.
As Chris shows bunt again.
Oh,
And it was perfectly placed to advance the runners. So sacrifice bunt there. Now has runners on second and third with 1 out. And now we see number 31, Ethan McLean, step up to the plate. As that one was high for now. 1-0 count. As that one's low and into the dirt. So 2-0 count now. As that one's high. So 3-0 count here to Ethan.
Is that you?
Yeah,
I said, dude, I was like,
I was worried.
I was like,
I was like, am I playing this shit? It's like, how the hell I thought y'all hear that? Yeah,
3-1 count now to Ethan. 1 out, runner still on second and third. As that's ball number 4. So that'll be a walk. And bases are loaded now here for the Pineville Porcupines. As we see number 27, Lucas Martino, step up to the plate. So with 1 out, bases loaded, Corndogs have a little meeting on the mound here. As there does look like they will call to the bullpen for a new pitcher on the mound. So now the Corndogs have number 25, 29 on the mound, Jacob Webley.
You'll see great hologram. The shit's fucking crazy.
So after that short meeting on the mound, Lucas Martino steps up the plate. The bases loaded. So 0-1 count. As that one's outside. Even ups the count 1-1. As that is down and into the dirt. To now make it a 2-1 count to Lucas.
This has been the longest fucking game ever. It's only gonna get worse.
It's 5-7. Fuck me.
As that's a swing and a miss to even up the count 2-2 now.
These next like 3 weeks we're gonna games every week in the road stuff.
It's very fun with the 2 innings. Now we're gonna need some.
As that one's outside. So full count now to Lucas. Bases loaded, 1 out here. Porcupines hoping to score some runs here. As that's a swing and a miss for out number 2.
Number 21, Jackson Hughes.
So now we see number 21, Jackson Hughes, step up to the plate. Bases loaded, 2 outs now. As that is down and into the dirt, so 1-0 count to Jackson. So that one's called a strike. Evens up the count 1-1. Two 2-1 count now to Jackson. As that's down and in for a strike. Evens up the count 2-2. As that one's inside to make it a full count, 2 outs and bases loaded here for the Porcupines. As that's hit hard to left, but will be caught for the 3rd out. So as we go to the top of the 8th inning, the Corndogs 7, Porcupines 5. We'll see you at the top of the 8th. Welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park. If you're just joining the broadcast, the Queen City Corndogs have a 7-5 lead over the Pineville Porcupines. Starting off for the Corndogs, we see number 23, Miller St. John. As that one's fouled off, so 0-1 count to him. As that one's outside, evens up the count 1-1. That one is popped up skied high to first, and will be caught for out number 1. So now we see number 15, Adam Quintero, steps up to the plate here for the Corndogs.
Like sporting events, like Super Bowl, like shit like that. People that are there, they have it. Like, you can even concerts,
As that ball is in for strike number 1, 0-1 count. New pitcher on the mound for the Porcupines. We're seeing number 16, Britton Adams.
Dude, I was gonna go to that Final Four game we played Saturday. Thank God I didn't. That was crazy.
As Adams steps back up to the plate, looking at a 0-2 count. As that is hit hard to short, thrown to first, but he is safe at first. So now we see number 26, Dave Masri. So 1 out, runner on first for the Corndogs. Here's the first pitch to Dave. And that's going to be down for strike number 1. And that one's fouled off. So 0-2 count here. As that one's outside. So 1-2 count. Here to Dave. As that one's quickly thrown to first. But he's back there safely. Join us tomorrow, Friday, July 7th, for Bark in the Ballpark here at Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park. Pups at the park. Furry friends are free. So that's a swing and a miss for out number 2. So now we see number 55, Will Budnick.
together or 178.
Dude, I'm gonna sign up for the next few weeks and just get this shit over with and get my piece of paper. And never go back to school.
As that one's in the dirt. And Adam Quintero will still second.
I'm definitely gonna see Greg though.
Did they respect each other?
Yeah, he's playing 2 nights here.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, to sit up where they're like.
You said you went to Asheville? Was that a Spectrum Center too?
I went to the one in Raleigh and I saw
That one's swinging a miss for strike one. Even up the count, 1-1.
Yeah.
oh shit, we talked about that.
Y'all ever film the Bo Daniels Paul swing?
That shit was fucking.
Well, I know.
I've never been there.
So 1-1 count.
See Judy Jones live action.
As that one's fouled off behind us.
Swear to God. This is an elementary school field trip. I'm gonna go see Judy Jones live. And the Bo Daniels calls the Bo Daniels live.
Yeah.
Swear to God. I don't know why I remember that.
So Will now looking at a 1-2 count. 2 outs, runner on second. Here's the pitch. And that'd be called ball to even up the count, 2-2.
Did they not? I think they make a movie about it.
Live action, I think that.
Dude, I swear they did.
As that is popped up to right. And that will be caught for out number 3. So the Queen City Corndogs 7, your Pineville Porcupines 5. We will see you back here in the bottom of the 8th inning. See you then. So welcome back to the broadcast. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, we see number 11, Emerson Monbaron, step up to the plate. As that's hit hard to short. And that'd be thrown to first to record out number 1. So substitution here. We see number 24, Louis Palillo.
You gotta think he played in this season like 4 or 5 games being 17 years old. Like, that's ridiculous.
As that one's outside. So 1-0 count. As that's in for strike number 1 to even up the count 1-1. So that one's inside to now make it a 2-1 count here to Louis. As that one is chopped foul. If you're just joining into the broadcast, the Queen City Corndogs have a 7-5 lead over the Pineville Porcupines here in the top of the 8th inning. That ball is hit foul. So still seeing a 2-2 count here. As that one's a little low to now make it a full count here.
Yeah, I like London more than I like Pitts. Ritter loves
As that one's fouled off. So Louis staying alive here in the count. Special thanks to Click Marketing, the official marketing of your Pineville Porcupines. As that ball is hit hard to short and thrown to first to get out number 2.
Number 3, Declan O'Hara.
So now with 2 outs here, we now see number 3, Declan O'Hara.
I was literally set for shit because I had Mark Andrews, Nick Chubb, and Justin Herbert. I was pretty fucking.
I was so lucky last year. Dude, I got so lucky, bro. I won off the fucking wire.
That's a swing and a miss for strike number 1.
He had Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow when he was like 60 points. But like the way he was looking in the beginning,
It was on the table.
As that check swing is called safe.
I was actually like,
So now he evens up the count 1-1.
that man died on that field.
As that one is popped up and caught by the catcher for out number 3. So as we go into the bottom of the 8th inning, the Corndogs 7, Porcupines 5. We'll see you next. Welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park. As we see number 42, Dylan Lewis, step up to the plate for the Corndogs.
He only won like $10,000.
Probably sponsors.
That's true.
That he probably does like sponsors like social media stuff. Yeah, I'm not working Saturday. I just say pop up.
So 1-0 count here. As that is popped up foul.
Oh shit, let's go. Oh, dude, I don't know why, but those grandmas literally don't watch the ball and just sit there and just don't even react. They're really
So that evens up the count. 1-1.
smoked him every time. They almost hit her so bad.
As that one's fouled off again. So Dylan's now looking at a 1-2 count. As that one's hit hard but fouled on the first base line.
Yeah, what?
How Wendy's security slapped Britney Spears in the face.
Oh shit, I didn't see that.
She was like trying to get a picture, grabbed him. Yeah.
They just slapped her in the face.
And then she was like, "What the hell?" And they were like, "You know how it is when fans are swearing you." Just walked away. She's like filed a lawsuit. You know how it is.
As that one's a little low. So now we're looking at a even 2-2 count. If you're just joining into the broadcast, the Corndogs have a 7-5 lead over the Porcupines. As that one's hit hard to right, and that will get over his head. As Dylan has a stand-up double.
Now adding number 4, Caleb Singleton.
Substitution batter for the Corndogs. We see number 4, Caleb Singleton. No outs, runner on second for the Corndogs. As here's the first pitch to Caleb. And that one's inside for 1-0 count.
I will say I appreciate whoever worked the games that I played in because this shit sucks.
As that's down for strike 1 to even up the count, 1-1.
I was just pulled up to the field and played. I never thought about doing all this shit. This shit sucks. That's not fun.
That's hit and fair down the first base line. So that's going to score in another run for the Corndogs. Now makes it an 8-5 lead.
Now batting number 25, Harrison Wilson.
So now we see number 25, Harrison Wilson, step up to the plate for the Corndogs with runner on first. No outs.
Doesn't matter because as soon as that score is left there, it's final because I don't know how to change it. No, they don't have a replay center. You have the Braves versus the Twins. It's the Fords versus the Corndogs. The Ronald Jones. Go back to the dugout. I don't like it since he fucking laid us off. After replay review.
Just say some bullshit.
So the last play is currently under review.
As that ball's thrown to first. But Caleb Singleton will get back there safely, as he's showing a pretty good leadoff at first.
Whoa, get her dog out. It's not till tomorrow. Sorry. $10.
As that one's called a strike. So 1 count. As Harrison steps back into the box. As that's hit hard up the middle. And that will be a base hit for Harrison Wilson.
Now batting number 37, Harrison Buthaletti.
So now we see number 37, Harrison Buthaletti. As he steps up to the plate with runners on first and second and no outs here in the top of the 9th inning. That one's a little outside, 1-0 count. As runner goes, going to third, and that will get away and go into left field. So both runners advance there. So now Corndogs have runners on second and third. As Harrison steps back into the box with a 1-1 count. That one's a little inside to now make it a 2-1 count. As that one's fouled off to even up the count, 2-2. As that one is chopped to third, thrown to first for out number 1. But that will score in another run for the Corndogs as they have a 9-5 lead over the Porcupines.
Now batting number 5, Nathan Sammy.
So now we see number 5, Nathan Sammy, step up to the plate. As that one's a little low, so 1-0 count. So that one evens up the count, 1-1. As that's down for strike number 2. So Nathan's now looking at a 1-2 count. As that one's low to even up the count, 2-2 to Nathan. Here with one out, runner on third.
Yep. I think like 1 or 2. My dad still plays too, so.
As that's hit hard, and that will be a base hit as it's hitting to center. And that will score in another run. So Corndogs 10, Porcupines 5.
Now batting number 2, Garrett Sanger.
So now with one out, runner on first, we now see number 2, Garrett Sanner. As that one's down for strike number 1. As that one's hit to short and caught. So that's a double play. So the Corndogs have a 10-5 lead over the Porcupines after the top of the 9th. So we will see the Pineville Porcupines back up to the plate here in the bottom of the 9th. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Jack D. Hughes Memorial Park here in the bottom of the 9th inning. If you're just joining, Queen City Corndogs 10, Pineville Porcupines 5.
Now batting number 13, Cam Murray.
So now we see number 13, Cam Murray, step up to the plate here in the bottom of the 9th. As that would be down for strike number 1.
Is like his dad? No, his mom. Yeah. His dad's wife.
And that's a little high. Even up the count, 1-1. As that is hit to center. And will be caught for out number 1 here.
Now batting number 8, Cam Farrell.
So with one out, now we see number 8, Cameron Farrell, step up to the plate here. as that one's a little low. So 1-0 count. And that one's on the outside. So early 2-0 count. As that one's in for strike number 1. So Cameron now looking at a 2-1 count. As that one's low to make it a 3-1 count. And that's ball number 4, so that will be a walk.
Now batting number 23, Nick Curtis.
So 1 out, 1 runner on first. We now see number 23, Nick Curtis. As that is down for strike number 1. So now Nick's looking at a 0-2 count. As that records out number 2 here.
Now batting number 34, Chris Manriquez.
So 2 outs, runner on first. Now we see number 34, Chris Manriquez. As that ball is high, so 1-0 count. And that one's going to be a little low. Now 2-0 count to Chris. As that's down into the dirt. So now Chris is looking at a 3-0 count. Will he get the green light to swing here? That one's in for strike number 1. So 3-1 count now. And that will be ball number 4. So that's another walk, putting runners on first and second for the Porcupines. And now we see number 31, Ethan McLean, step up to the plate here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. As that one will be skied high into shallow right. And will be caught to end this game. So after all that, the Queen City Corndogs 10, Pineville Porcupines 5. Please join us tomorrow for Bark in the Ballpark. Thank you for joining us for Thursday Night Baseball here. We'll see you next time.